Frequency, Chapter 7, Part 3.
No pony can fault you for your doubts,
Luna said, setting a hoof to her shoulder.
Now is the time to make up for it. I would like for you to remain at the castle until we have arranged a plan for Miss Longstaff's journey. I will need to inform the other princesses and the right individuals in the astronomical community. I'd be happy to help.
Vinyl blushed and rubbed her hooves together.
I don't know anything about astronomy, though.
Luna offered her a warm smile.
You are Miss Longstaff's friend. She trusts you. You will be our official liaison. I want you present whenever we need to speak with her. More scientific minds will handle the more tedious work. You just act as Miss Longstaff's assurance.
Vinyl cocked her head as she tried to take this in.
So I'm holding her hoof? Something like that.
The princess turned to Flash.
You will be working with Miss Scratch, acting as her escort.
Flash sputtered, his cheeks going pink. But, Your Highness, I am a guard of the Crystal Empire. I would need to formally request—
I have already discussed things with Cadence,
Luna declared.
Judging by what she has already told me about you, I doubt that you will mind a temporary change in your posting.
Really? His ears lowered with his head, and his cheeks only burned brighter. What did she say about me? Luna's smile grew wry.
That is not for me to say. Hold on.
Vinyl raised her hoof, catching the attention of both of them.
What the hey do I need a guard for? Princess.
I've got to second that one, Flash said.
There are many reasons,
Luna replied with confidence.
Making sure you make it to the appropriate meetings on time, for example. Hey!
Vinyl stomped.
What makes you think I'll be late?
Luna gave a harumph and smirked.
You will also have to be kept from going into places you should not within the castle.
Vinyl sulked.
What the hey? Do I have some kind of record?
The smirk broadened.
Every pony has a record, Scratch, and I assure you that I have seen yours.
Vinyl's eyes grew wide, but Luna pressed on before she could formulate a response.
Further, it will be the first lieutenant's duty to keep you from harm. I can handle myself.
Vinyl's muzzle clamped closed, held firmly in the cobalt aura. After a few seconds of struggling with her jaw, she finally resorted to sulking and glaring. Flash shifted from hoof to hoof, his eyes darting to each mare over and over again. I'm not sure I like this idea. Any guard would do, right?
But you went out of your way to help Miss Scratch,
Luna said.
You know her personally, and you're a fan of her music. You are also an exemplary guard, if Cadence may be considered a reliable source of such information. I trust you will take it upon yourself to watch over her in every way.
Flash's eyes grew as wide as Vinyl's felt. How do you know so much about us?
I didn't just spend the night researching radio technology, Mr. Sentry.
Luna smiled at him.
Like my sister, I prefer to know who I am dealing with.
Vinyl shook her head forcefully and discovered that her jaw was free to move again.
I really don't think that this is necessary.
The princess laughed and winked.
What is that phrase I've heard in these modern times? Oh, yes. Suck it up.
She turned for the door.
Now, if you will excuse me, I have a lot of work to do. Starting with making sure the radio station is moved to another frequency. I will advise Princess Cadence to speak with you on this matter soon, First Lieutenant.
Vinyl shared a miffed, wide-eyed look with Flash. As the door closed, she asked,
What just happened?
I think we're stuck together, he replied with equal uncertainty. I don't get it. Who am I supposed to be protecting you from? Addie's voice rose from the speaker.
Vinyl?
She hurried to sit at the table and grab the microphone.
I'm here, Addie.
Thank you. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for setting this up. I can't...
Vinyl shushed her with a warm smile.
It's okay, Addie. You don't have to say anything.
I'm going to have a home.
Addie choked down a sob.
I'm going to get out of this damn tin can. I can never thank you enough.
I know. I don't know what to say or think.
Vinyl rubbed her mane back and leaned against the table. She took slow breaths.
I'm trying to take all this in. I'm really confused.
She felt a hoof on her shoulder and looked up to find Flash smiling down at her. He gave her a small nod. Vinyl stared at him for a moment and then felt something unusual within her. It was like a pleasant warmth in her chest, a sense that things were going well. She turned back to the microphone.
Addie, I get it now.
It was a few seconds before Addie responded.
Get what?
You haven't been telling me everything because you knew I wouldn't believe.
To that, she received no answer. Addie surely knew one wasn't necessary. Vinyl turned and took Flash's hoof, forcing him to sit down next to her before turning back to the radio.
Addie, why are you on that ship? Please, let me know what happened.
More silence. It went on for a long, uncomfortable time. Long enough that Vinyl began to wonder if she'd received a response at all.
There was a sickness.
Addie's voice was hollow, her words coming slowly.
I was a mechanic working with a contractor for NASA. I didn't listen to news or anything, so I don't know where the illness started. I know half of Europe was infected by the time I started paying attention.
Flash leaned towards Vinyl. Europe? She shushed him with a wave of her hoof, listening intently to Addie's shaky breathing.
By that time, the sickness was in the US and people were getting scared. We started calling it the super flu. Super contagious, super hard to get rid of, super painful. Vaccines didn't work. Modern medicine was useless. Some thought it was a type of bioweapon, if you believe in conspiracy theories. Then...
She went silent once again. Vinyl and Flash shared uncertain glances.
Then something changed. I don't know what it was. The virus went from being painful to lethal almost overnight. I heard that millions died in Europe along within a couple of weeks. The sickness was coming. We all knew it.
A long, tremulous sigh rose from the speaker.
That's when we decided to take the journey. The ship I'm on, and leave Earth. There were 21 of us initially, and we were acting against orders, so we had to move in secret. It took 2 months to make preparations. Some died trying to get to their families. Mine was already gone by then.
Vinyl chewed her lip and fought against the tightness in her throat.
Addie,
Let me finish.
She clamped her jaw closed and held the microphone in a firm grip.
Sorry, I just... Let me get it out.
Another pause.
It was Emerson who screwed up. He told the wrong family members who came to believe the ship could hold over 100 crew members. We had a mob on our hands.
Addie began to cry, but it was subdued.
I had no choice. Curtis, Takenaka, and Lime had been arrested. The sickness was spreading like a wildfire. It was already at Cape Canaveral. Hundreds of people were trying to break through the fence. I waited as long as I could. I really did. I didn't even know how to fly the damn thing, but I saw Paradis get shot making his way to the ship. He was the last pilot. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where the others were. The fence was failing. The base was in chaos.
She sucked in a long, shaky breath.
So I started the engines and took off. I let the autopilot get me above atmosphere. I should have waited a little longer, but I was so scared. I didn't even properly buckle myself in, and the ride knocked me out. By the time I woke up, I was in orbit. I spent 3 months listening to the radio, listening as my world died. By then, the lights in all the cities had gone out. By the end of the 4th month, the radio gave me nothing but static. My home was gone. And even if I knew how to land the ship, there was no way I'd survive on the surface. So I figured out the controls and left. That's what the ship was designed for, after all. Interstellar exploration. It's not like I had any better options.
Silence. Vinyl stared at the radio, slowly releasing the breath she'd been holding.
that's...
Something. Flash finished for her. She glanced over to see him staring at his hooves with wide, shifting eyes. She held the microphone to her lips.
We'll get you here. You'll find a new home in Equestria. I promise.
Addie's response came slowly.
Are you sure, Vinyl? What if I can't survive there? What if—
You listen to me!
Vinyl snapped.
You are going to make it to Equestria. You're going to see our world, you're going to make a home for yourself, and we are going to finally meet face to face. It's gonna happen, Addie.
But what if—
Shut it!
Vinyl stood and glared at the radio.
Don't you dare argue with me on this! The princesses will make it happen, and I'm going to be there. I'll be with you, Addie. Every step of the way. Okay? So believe it. Because it's true.
Addie said nothing. Vinyl tapped her hoof impatiently.
Okay?
Okay,
Addie whispered.
I trust you, Vinyl. I'll believe.
Good.
Vinyl sat, her entire body slumped over the table.
Good. You'd better, or else I'll kick your tail when you get here.
Addie gave a weak chuckle.
You're one of a kind, Vinyl. Thank you.
A small smile graced Vinyl's lips. Her eyes were blurred by moisture.
Anytime.
Flash watched her with a smile of his own. She set a hoof to her shoulder.
I don't know why Luna pinned you to me, but I'm glad.
She rubbed her eyes and looked to the radio.
I don't want to do this alone.
You won't. He patted her hoof and rubbed her back. Neither of you. Vinyl sniffed and returned his smile. That warm feeling was back in her chest. She glanced to the radio, then back at him, then raised the microphone.
Hey, Addie?
Yeah?
I've got a guy I'm stuck with. Luna's orders. I think I should introduce you.
She thrust the mic in Flash's startled face.
Say hello, boat butt.
Now my question is, how fast will it take to actually get Addie down from there? How about we ask our scientists of donators? Top donators are 630, BadassWaffle, Only One Thing, Ceru, Orion, IronSky, and Jessie Smith. Magic 109, JockeTF, Toxic, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel, Sky, Austin, Rolan, Stu, Hexter, Brother, Marjorie, Omicron, Library, Rinside 9852, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Rice, Holshanama, Luigi, D, Chancer, Crust, Big Smoke 369, Bobcat, GGF, Murder Princess, and many more awesome people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.